What's up guys, Dave with Gen 3D Tech here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very interesting mouse pad from Vancer, and it's called the Vancer ICE. It's a glass infused mouse pad, and it's a very interesting little pad, so let's get into it. So anyways, I'd first like to start off by thanking Vancer for sending me this pad for review. It's one of two pads that they're offering. It's this one right here, which is just solid gray and has a bit of texture, and then there's one with a Joker graphic on it, which I believe is smoother. I don't have that pad, so I'm just going to be covering this one, but from other people that I've heard that have both of them, for the most part I believe they tended to like this pad a little bit better. So anyways, to get started with, this is a 450 by 400 millimeter mouse pad, and it's 4 millimeter thick with nice stitch edging. It has a little tag here, which some people may or may not like. I preferred that this was on the bottom, even though I don't mind there being a logo on there. I just prefer tags on the bottom so that they will never get in the way. I typically don't go towards the edges, but still some might find that annoying. The surface of this pad is I believe it's a glass infused pad, much like the Glorious Ice. This is also called the Vancer ICE, and the two pads are similar. The Glorious Ice, which is this pad right here, is quite a bit smoother though. It's also a little bit smaller. Both have really nice stitch edging on it, both 4 millimeters thick. However, the Glorious Ice has a reputation of wearing out extremely fast. Some people have reported that it wears down within a few hours. However, that was most of the reviews I read on that were over a year old, and I bought this recently when I heard that this was a similar pad. I wanted to have something to compare with, so I ordered it from Amazon for only $20, which is, I believe it shipped, I think, at $50 or $40. I'm not sure. It was quite a bit more when it originally shipped, but now it's only $20. And in fact, I believe you can get it for $13 on Glorious's site. However, I don't think there's free shipping. Amazon has free shipping, easy returns. Anyways, I just wanted to check it out, and I do like the surface of this, and I did use this for about a week, and so far it hasn't worn down. So I don't know if they've fixed it, or I just have better luck and got a better pad. But I am skeptical about the long-term viability of this Glorious Ice pad. This pad, however, I have a lot more confidence in. Just the surface feels like it's really durable, and also I've spoken with Vancer many times, and he's personally tested this pad for many months, and it hasn't worn down according to him. He seemed like a very honest person, and I don't think he would release it if it had durability issues. Both these pads are also similar to the Artisan, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, the Shinkai. That pad is no longer in production. I think you can still get it a few places, but I believe that they stopped making it because of durability concerns and just to concentrate efforts on other pads to meet productions. That pad, I believe, has a little bit more texture similar to the Vancer pad. And that pad, the Artisan pad, I believe typically lasts about 6 months. Some people said that it lasts longer. I guess it just depends on how much you use it. But I believe this Vancer pad will probably, at the very least, it's going to last 6 months. I think it could possibly last quite a bit longer. Again, it also depends on how long you use it. But I don't have that Artisan pad to compare it to. I believe there are some other people who are going to be reviewing this pad that do have it, so you might want to watch those reviews if you are coming from that pad and you're looking for an alternative. The other pad that this reminds me of slightly is this esports Tiger pad that's made out of the rainbow pearl material, which has a shine to it. The other version of this that has the graphic on it also has that same rainbow effect. I don't know if this pad is supposed to have it. I haven't really seen it, but I also don't have a whole lot of light in this area where I have my computer set up, and it's really hard to even see the rainbow effect on this pad. Now this pad right here has a silicone surface, I believe. I don't know that for sure, but that's what it feels like to me. It has a similar feeling wise when you're playing on it to the glass infused surface pads. I don't know how long this pad's gonna last, but I really think it'll last a long time. I'm definitely gonna be doing a review on this real soon because it's definitely one of my favorite pads. I believe this pad's only 3mm thick and it doesn't have stitch edges, and it is bigger, as you can see, than the Vancer pad. Like I said, the Glorious pad's like $20. This is $35. If you get the Pro pad, it's $40. And this particular design is not in stock from what I've seen. I think they've only got 2 designs out of the original 4 left in stock, and those are just about out of stock. So if you want to get one of these, I'd probably jump on it soon. As far as the cost of the Vancer pad, it's going to be about $32 US, and it's initially going to be only available on the Whales shop. The Whale is a YouTube reviewer. I've reviewed his wall hoot pad recently. If you haven't seen that review, you can check it out in my list of videos. And also the soft Cordura pad review that I did recently is available on Dornfinger and also at the Whales shop. This pad should also be available at other retailers. I believe Addice is going to be getting it, and maybe some others. Vancer products typically are available a lot of different places. Like this mouse right here is one of his, the Vancer Grexa, I believe is what it's called. And I never did a review on it, but it's a pretty good mouse. And I believe I got this at the Yuki AIM store. But they also have this at Addice and a bunch of other places. And by the way, he does have 2 different mice coming out real soon. An ergonomic mouse and a symmetrical mouse, both with really impressive stats, and I'll do my best to try and get those for review as soon as they're available. As for the base, it's a pretty standard rubber base, nice and textured, doesn't move at all. Here's a look at the stitching. The stitching is really nice. When the mouse goes off the edge, you don't feel it. So they did a really good job on that. Here's an up close of the surface. You can see a little bit of sparkle. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but there's like a little bit of sparkle. And you can definitely see the texture in there. It has texture, but it's a very, very light texture. It's still pleasant on the skin. The other thing though, this does get dirty very easily, like the Glorious, not as bad as the Glorious Ice, but it does picks up oils and dirt. It comes with a little microfiber cloth that you can use to clean it, and it does clean up pretty easily. You can just wipe it down. A little bit of warm water will get most everything. Washing it doesn't seem to affect the surface any that I can tell so far. Now, surface wise, this is a very fast pad. It's not the very fastest pad that I have, but it is a very fast pad. If I was to give it a number, which is very subjective, and let's say 10 would be a glass pad, which is about as fast as you're going to get, this would probably be a 9. So I think it is a good alternative for a hard pad, because it kind of gives you that hard pad feeling, but with a flexible surface. This thing did come rolled up in this container right here, and it was mostly flat. There was a little bit of roll, but there was a little bit of roll initially. but I just kind of pulled it back a little bit like that, and within about 20 minutes it was pretty much flat. So I don't really have any concerns about this thing going flat. As you can see, it's nice and flat on the desk. The consistency of the pad feels the same whether you go up or down. It has very low initial friction, so you can get started very easily, and it has just a little bit of stopping power. Like I said, it is a very fast pad, but because it has some texture on it compared to the other ones that are completely smooth without any texture, this does have a little bit more control, and I found that in gaming I was able to track a lot better with this. Here's some glass feet, and glass is really fast on this. As you can see, these super glides, extremely fast. Lethal gaming gear, still very fast. Feels very buttery smooth. Ninjutsu Hyper skates. Even though these are the slowest of the three glass feet that I have, it's still very fast on this pad. If you're someone that likes a fast pad, this is definitely a fast pad. And I find that glass skates are completely usable on this pad. That little bit of texture allows pretty decent control. Sensor wise, this is a 33-35 sensor on this, and I had some concern that maybe it wouldn't track very well on a pad like this, but I have no trouble with the 33-35 sensor, 33-70, or the latest and greatest sensor like on the Viper V2 Pro. It works beautifully on this pad. So unless you got something older than a 33-35, which I haven't really tested on sensor wise, I wouldn't have any problem recommending this pad. It tracks very nice. And the nice thing about a pad like this is if you have a heavy mouse, like this is almost 80 grams. On a pad like this, it feels pretty light compared to being on a thicker cloth pad or a hybrid pad. So there's definitely some benefit if you have a heavier mouse going to a pad like this. Another great thing about this pad is it is completely humidity resistant. So if you live in a very humid environment or you have sweating issues, I mean, it will get dirty, so I'm definitely recommending cleaning it before every use. But like I said, it just takes a minute to wipe it down. That's really the only negative on this pad, really, is you do have to remember to clean it. Those oils will build up and will slow you down. As you can see, the water pretty much doesn't really absorb. You can just wipe it off. It also dries pretty fast. So I definitely don't have any qualms recommending this in a humid environment. And if it does get wet, it really doesn't slow it down. This type of surface is one that I very much enjoy. I think it's a fun surface. If you're used to just a hybrid surface or a cloth surface, this will feel quite a bit different. But I think you might like it. And so far, the other two pads that are similar, like I showed, the Glorious Ice and the Rainbow Pearl pad, are some of my favorite pads right now, especially with glass feet or with a really nice PTFE feet. Probably my favorite are Tiger Ice feet for pads like this, but really any good third party feet are going to work really good on this. Now, one set of skates that I wasn't crazy about on this pad are the Core Pad Airs that have texture on them. It's really noisy on a pad like this, and I worry that it will wear it down, so I really don't recommend the Airs for a pad like this. I would stick with like a cloth pad. using these type of skates. I'm probably gonna swap these out soon for some Tiger Ice skates. And again, I'd like to thank them for sending this pad out. I've had a lot of fun with it, and for the price of $32, I definitely think it's worth it. However, if you're in the United States, you're going to have to pay a decent amount of shipping to get it here from the whale site. So you might want to wait until you can get it at Addice or other US retailer. When you add that shipping, it's probably going to be closer to $50, and at that price you might just be better off getting one of the Rainbow Pearl pads, which are $35 for the ones with the design, or $40 for the Pro pad. Shipping is definitely going to be cheaper there. You might also just try that Glorious Ice pad for $20. It seems like a pretty good deal, and it's a slicker surface than this, but still it's an enjoyable pad, and so far mine's held up. I can't guarantee that it's going to hold up, but I'm going to keep using it, and I'll update on Twitter probably, or maybe I'll do a review on it at some point. Even though it's a highly reviewed pad, I have a feeling that they've quietly improved it. But anyways, I'm going to keep testing that pad, and I'll report on it somehow. Game performance wise, I definitely found this to be a pad that worked very well for me. Played a lot of the new Overwatch 2 beta with this pad, and for the most part I did pretty good. Some of my performance was just due to the fact that I just started playing it, and there's some new characters and they've changed some things, so it was just took me a little bit of time to get used to it. So I wasn't sure if it was the game or the products that I was testing. I got a couple new mice I'm testing also, but once I put a little bit of time into this pad and those other mice, I started doing extremely well. I'm very impressed with this pad. It's fun. It doesn't irritate the skin. I think the price is decent, but again, it just depends on where you're at. If you're in the EU, by all means get this pad. You might consider the one with the Joker design on it. It won't have that extra texture on it though, so if you want an even slicker surface, you might enjoy that. But if you like the little bit of texture, then this is the one for you for sure. Again, if you're in the EU, I definitely recommend going and jumping on it now once it becomes available any day. In the United States, if you really want to, go ahead, but I would probably recommend waiting till we can buy it at Addice and other locations. When it's available at one of those locations, I will update the description, and of course, if you follow me on Twitter, I will announce it then on there also. Anyways guys, that's about all the time I have for this review. Hopefully you enjoyed it and found it informative. If you did, please leave a like. I'm always appreciative of that. And if you haven't subbed, then yeah, go ahead and sub. If not, no big deal. I'll be making videos no matter what. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. I got lots of good stuff coming out. Tons of reviews. I'm backed up with the stuff really. So I'm trying to get out as many as I can. So yeah, keep checking back. And I'll see you on the next one. Later.